Correspondence is essentially everything having a friend. That's what Claire used to say when she was little. Everything had to have a friend. So there's lots of ways to do one-to-one correspondence. In my basket, I have a basket of rocks. I have a bunch of ice cube trays. I saved this off of the Mountain Dew 6-pack. And so when something demonstrates one-to-one correspondence, everything gets one spot or one touch. So you can do something very simple like having rocks out. That's very hard to see, very dark, sorry. Having rocks out, putting them in a line and touching them. 1, 2, 3, like that. Or you could do something more fun and use ice cube trays. So in the ice cube tray example, I'm going to make sure that every spot has one rock. So I'm going to fill each one up with just one. And as you're playing with children, you can easily talk to them and say, oh, look, I see that this Mickey has 2. He can't fit 2 in there. He only needs 1. Everybody gets 1. And use ice cube trays for that. You could also use the plastic soda thing. It's a little too dark, so sorry. Again, every space gets 1. Every space gets 1. That's one-to-one correspondence. Everything has one friend. Every space has 1. Also, a very practical example of one-to-one correspondence is setting the table. So, giving kids practice, I have 1 plate that needs 1 napkin and 1 fork. And going around to different spots and making sure every plate has a napkin, every napkin has a fork. That's a very practical way to demonstrate one-to-one correspondence. One-to-one correspondence is basically just everything has one friend. And when you count things, you touch and count 1, 2, 3. As opposed to rote counting, which is just out loud, 1, 2, 3. One-to-one correspondence involves actually touching the objects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But visuals such as soda things and ice cube trays help them to practice putting one object at each spot. And that's the simplicity of one-to-one correspondence. Little guys can practice this, big guys are mastering it, but it's never too early just to play with math, talk about it, notice what you're seeing, and give them that foundation for one-to-one correspondence. Well, it's time to haul out your ice cube trays. If you are no longer an ice cube tray user, there are plenty of things that you can do with them. Now, I happen to have cool ice cube trays. I have Mickey Mouse head ice cube trays, and I have some strawberry ice cube trays. And this is one of the few times you'll see me have a paper out in front of me. I like to make everything in myself, but this one was so much easier to see. These are called 10 frames, and simply because there are 10 spots here. These are some things we would have laminated and used in the classroom, but I have some home with me today. You don't need a special printable for these. You can certainly draw 10 boxes. I can't draw straight, but I bet you can. And so the idea is here, we are practicing one-to-one correspondence, which is making sure that every space gets 1. And so I have some simple objects to use. I like to use pom-poms because they're fun and they're soft and they're squishy. You may not have pom-poms at home, so you could use even foil squished up into little balls or tissues or Play-Doh, of course. And to incorporate fine motor skills, I love to use things that pinch. If you have clothespins at home, great. I have about 1 million clothespins at my house because I love the look of them. And I make them for school, but these are just simply chip clips. So if you have a chip clip at home, this is an easy way to practice one-to-one correspondence and 10 frames. So I could use a ice cube tray here, make a big mess here, and use my clips here and clip some pom-poms and transfer them into the ice cube tray. Now, my friends love to race. They love to do things on a timed fashion. So I could easily get a timer out on my phone or from a board game and time and see how fast you could put only 1 in each spot. Only 1. And if kids have more than 1 in there, Just want to talk about every strawberry needing one seed, that kind of thing. And here, I would just simply get one on each spot on the grid. So I'm going to see if I can spread this out here a little bit. Again, we love time games, don't we, guys? We love to beat the timer. And so I could use a clothespin, and I could do a variety of things to make it more of a challenge. So I could say, we're only going to use the blue, or we're only going to use the yellow, or we're going to make a pattern. There's so many different things you could do. But you can time the friends to simply pick it up, put it on. And this one has the number, oh, I can't get off with one hand, sorry. This is the number 6, so I'm going to only put on 6. So we're going to practice transferring only 6. Mine are a little sticky. I've been using them all night. Mine have things stuck to them. So if you have to use your fingers, that's fine too. Mine have things adhered to them. And so I'm going to try to only get 6. And we're going to talk with my child to make sure we only get 6. What a mess. We need to fix this mess, right, guys? Every spot needs one pom-pom. Everyone gets one pom-pom. So I could arrange it however I'd like to. I could do 6 like this. I could show that I could do 6 like this. Oh, these guys are all over the place today. Different ways to make 6, but you could use ice cube trays. You could draw out a 10 frame. You could use chip clips. You could use clothespins. And to make it harder or easier, I could take these 6 and say, oh, these 6 have to be a pattern. Okay, I'm going to make a pattern this time. Let's try pink, pink. They're so sticky. Pink, pink, green, pink. Oh, I need another pink. Pink, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I have lots more pom-poms, don't worry. Pink, pink, green, and now my 6 are in a pattern. So these are called 10 frames. You could also practice with ice cube trays, making sure that every spot only gets 1. And then you're practicing here with the numerals, making sure that we identify the numeral and get the right quantity in the boxes. And to add more depth, you could do it for a timer. You can make patterns out of them. These are called 10 frames. And in Pre-K Joy, we are great all the way up to 10. Some friends are great all the way up to 20. Some friends can do more than 20. We want to make sure before we get to kindergarten that we're pretty good at recognizing all the numbers 0 through 20 and working on the quantities of them as well. So have fun playing with things around your house that you could count and put into 10 frames.